Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for week 34 in my Project Life album. If you'd like to see what I'm going to do, stick around. Hey everyone, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for being here. I am working on week 34 in my Project Life album. It's a 9x12. It's from scrapbook.com. I am in a dilemma because they have not had this particular album I've been using for the last 3 years in stock for months and months and months. And so I'm really hoping that they come back in stock before I need to start next year's plans. Anywho, I know that's not for a while, but your girl plans ahead. So here I go. I do have my Stories by the Month kit, Praises, from Ali Edwards, and I am very excited to pull out a lot of these rainbow elements to make this week work. So let me speed up the camera and get started. So this week was pretty fun. We had a regular week, no camps, cheer is in session, Matt's toe is still broken, so I'm still doing all the things. Right now I'm making my title card. I have this August vellum card on top of the packaging actually that I cut down to be a 4x6 size. And then I decided I was going to use this vellum as like washi, if you will, like kind of like I would use a washi strip, and making my own using this card because I wasn't quite sure how else I was going to use it since it is so bright and bold. I didn't think I was really going to want to journal on it. I think some other ways you could use it is you could stamp on it if you had stays on ink. You could write on it with a paint pen. You could use alpha stickers. You could just put like a larger photo over it. But I love rainbows, as you probably know, and so I want to feature that pattern throughout the week. So I have also these circle stickers. They're label stickers from Ali Edwards from a while ago, and I decided I was going to use those as well because I like the addition of just the simple black and white accent with all of the other bright, colorful elements that are going on this week. I think these alphas are maybe from last month's kit. I don't even remember, but they are from Ali Edwards as well. So I'm just going to abbreviate week 34. I have these black and white puffy hearts I've had for a few years from Citrus Twist that I'm going to incorporate throughout. And then I'm using the word phrase stickers from this month's kit. Those puffy stickers on the top of the video screen there, those are very old as well. I will be using maybe one or two of those. I'm not quite sure. As per usual, I'm referencing my Hobonichi cousin because without it, I would be completely lost. So I am, this is week 34. So that's August 18th through the 24th. And the first picture on the left is Nora and her friend Paisley, who came over for the day on Monday. And the two of them were playing, I think, like dentist or something. That's her like gaming chair in her room that she got for Christmas last year. And it was really hilarious because just after this, Nora fell completely backwards in the chair. So I definitely am glad that I captured that moment just before the chaos, well, more of the chaos ensued because Paisley was at her house all day long. It's one of her friends from cheer. She goes to a different school. And so I just talked a little bit about that, how she was over for the day on that photo. Then I'm going to move on to the middle row, and I have a couple more pictures from the week. Super excited that I was able to finish my travel album, at least the first half of it, because actually at the time of doing this voiceover, we haven't even left yet for our second trip of the summer, second and last trip. It's still summer for us. We don't go back to school till September 4th, so definitely milking those last few days of summer break. So I'm using this, this is the 4x6 slot. I'm just taping 2 3x4 items to the back of it from the previous week. See, that's the larger photo there, and trimming around the edges just to get the excess off so it looks more flush with the other cards. Then I'm going to use the August Stories journaling card to journal about the week. So again, just talking about how it was a bit of a slower week just because there weren't any camps or anything. I have been working in my travel album and binge watching The Handmaid's Tale, which at this point I am just starting season 4, so I'm very excited. Talking about my new hormone replacement therapy, craving Reese's Pieces Sundae like hardcore for days, and so finally nipped that craving in the bud and went to get a huge ice cream sundae on Tuesday evening. Also talking about sneaking Nora, quote unquote sneaking her out of the house, one of the days we didn't have any plans plans and she couldn't find a friend to come over to go do a little retail therapy shopping at Five Below, where she grabbed a few makeup items and just a couple other goodies she wanted. And then I kept the picture of my travel album blank. I kind of toyed around with embellishing it, but I love the color of the album so much, I just left it blank. This picture is Nora with her new Labubu. Yes, she did get a third Labubu. You can come at me if you want. I am totally fine. I know it's like an eye roll situation, but she was very excited to get it, and she was shocked that it came this early because I don't think it was even supposed to ship until September 7th. I do order them right off PopMart, and it does take me a while to secure one. So that's a whole other story for another day. You can feel free to DM me over on Instagram if you want to talk about it. So just using the alphas again to incorporate them just a couple other times during the spread to spell out yay, and then talked about how she was excited to receive it. It was very shocked. We were on our way out to my hair appointment and there was a package in the front, and she was just like, what? Oh, wait, this is my Labubu. And I was like, no, it's not. Usually I stay right on top of that because she's very, very anxious and likes to ask me 5,000 times if it's going to come today. So I wasn't tracking it because I didn't think it was even going to be here anytime soon. So it was definitely a surprise. This is a couple of photos I just patched together in the Diptyque app because neither of them were the most flattering, but I did want to include them. So it's just Nora was being so funny, and she is definitely holding Toothless against his will. In the top picture, you can't see it very well on camera, but in real life it is hilarious. His face is like, help. And then that's one of my best friends, Cassie. There's a girl, Kenzie, who shows up in our Project Life videos a lot. She's one of Nora's best friends, also from a different school district now at this point because they moved out of our district, but we still see each other a lot because the girls do cheer together. So we decided to take a selfie while they were having practice, and she's just a lovely human being. And then on the highs and lows vellum card, I didn't want to write directly on the vellum, so I decided to use these die cut circles that came with the kit, and I just used it to bullet highs and lows. So I talked about I was feeling extra creative and taking advantage of that. Nora's been doing the dishes and offering to do more around the house, and that she's loving cheer again. And then for lows, I said that poor Cassie, when I pulled up to her house Monday, she was being attacked by ground bees. So that was like a whole situation. I journaled more about that in my Hobonichi cousin. Oh, here are the close-ups of the completed left side of the spread. How it poured all day Wednesday, which was like a negative and a positive though, like a high and a low, because it was so bleary and rainy and cold and just like miserable out that it gave Nora and I permission to just be lazy. So that was kind of like the silver lining there. Every now and then I love a good rainy day. And then the low also being that Matt's toe is still keeping him kind of out of commission. And that is going to wrap up the left side of the spread. Came together super quick, and I'm loving the elements of the circles, the black and white, and then of course all of the rainbow colors. So I've obviously moved on to the right side, and I have this 4x6 picture of all of the like windy, I don't know what these are, like the inflatable dudes. I don't know what they are, little guys that usually are outside of like a car place, but what's really cool about them is they represent when the wave pool is waving. And they like flip and flop around, and they're just really super silly looking, and they're huge, and so you can see them from far away so that kids know, oh, the waves are going, jump in the wave pool. And it is kind of an aggressive wave pool, I'm not gonna lie. So love this picture. Nora's actually in the picture. You can't really see her very well, but she's wearing a purple bikini, and I'm going to position that August die cut right to the right side of her, so maybe you can see her now that I mentioned that. I just spelled out fun, put a few puffy stickers, and called that good. Oh, some of those chipboard hearts you could see are Allie Edwards. Some are from Studio Calico. I'm just kind of mixing them in here and there wherever it makes sense. This was Saturday, so I stamped the date on that die cut tag, which is actually from last year's kit. This Thankful for These Days, I love this card. Obviously, I'm obsessed with it because it's a rainbow, and it's not just any rainbow, it's like a bright rainbow, a true rainbow, and that is like my jam. So I just kept it simple by adding some of these chipboard hearts on top of the colors that they coordinated with, and I thought that was super cute, and I love the way it looks. The middle row is just a couple more pictures from our day Saturday. Nora and her friend Hannah, who came with us. So originally it was supposed to be the three of us with our other friends who we went with last year. But the day we were supposed to go, this past Wednesday, it was going to rain and pour all day, which it did. And I'm so glad I called the shot to reschedule our day at Zoom Flume, which is where we went. And I ended up bringing Abby, who is in a lot of our photos. She's Nora's age and friend. That's her older sister, Hannah. So Hannah's like 4 years older than Nora, even though Nora's about the same size as her. But we don't need to talk about that. I'll cry. Anyway, she came with us for the day. So it was just me, and then I took the two girls. That way they could kind of go off on their own. I could trust them to be on their own because Hannah's older. And she's going into high school and Nora's going into 5th grade. So they got to play a lot. Of course, they wanted me to come and do things with them, but I kept saying no to water slides, and I just did the lazy river and stood in the wave pool. So that was kind of my excuse. I was like, no, this is why we brought Hannah, so I could just lay here. Sadly, I did not think, I forgot that they blare, actually, sorry if you like country music, I'm not really a fan. That is pretty much all they blared, and it was kind of torturous for me. Not just because I had to endure it, but also because I then could not hear my audiobooks over all of the screaming and the kids and the waves and the splashing, but mostly because of the very loud country music that was blasting everywhere. And so I did not really get to relax and read like I planned to. But I did, I did get some sun, and it was great. And I'm glad Nora had fun. So that's that. And so they fell asleep in the car on the way there and on the way back, which was super cute. So I took a picture of them while we were at a stop sign. And I wanted to bring in another one of those circle die cuts, so I just kept it really simple and put that, since there's so much kind of quote free space on the picture of the two of them asleep in my car, I took up the space at the top of the photo with that die cut and then the puffy heart. And then you can see I'm just embellishing the picture of the two of them from my point of view laying in the beach chair. Just wrote such a fun in the sun day and put a sticker that says this moment is special. Then I'm going to journal about Thursday, which actually doesn't have any photos, but I did want to include journaling for what happened on Thursday on this Dear Diary card. So on that, I just talked about it being busy because I had the hair appointment, and then Nora stayed over at my friend's house who does my hair because her daughter Vivian and Nora like to play together, so they did that, and then Matt brought her home to me. So I had the afternoon to myself, which was lovely. Also how I was able to finish my travel album this week. And then as soon as she got home, I did her hair and makeup, and she had cheer picture night and practice right after. And then I just also mentioned that I had popped over to Walmart to do a little bit of shopping while she was at practice. And then on the very bottom row, you can see I'm embellishing this picture of Nora and her friend Fiona in the tub having a little, quote, spa night. She finally came over for a sleepover. We saw her at the beginning of the summer, and then the two of them just couldn't make their schedules work, so they were very excited to have a sleepover finally. So I just took this picture of them with all their skincare and their masks and their lip masks and their seltzers in the water. Very shortly thereafter, they made a giant bubbly mess in the tub, so I'm glad I got the picture of them before the craziness happened. And then on this currently card, I'm just writing about things. It says want to do and have to do, so talking about wanting, all the things I already told you about, basically, on the left. And then on the right, have to do, I talked about, having to keep driving Nora back and forth to cheer because my husband's toe, doing more around the house because of his toe, packing for the three of us, and trying to also have to is figuring out how to navigate parenting during this age of social media everywhere. That's another thing that I just have, been, it's current for me, and I thought it should be mentioned in this week. So I hope you guys enjoyed the close-ups of the finished right side of the spread. Here it is all together. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss my content. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Take care of yourselves, sweet friends, and remember that you are enough. Bye!